What's up, guys? My name is Brandon. You guys can call me Swifterrs, and welcome back to a brand new Fortnite video here on my channel. Today I am coming at you guys with a super exciting video because in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 Fortnite skins that I regret buying. Now, I have spent too much money on this game. I have bought a ton of skins. Granted, there are a ton of other people that play Fortnite that have spent even more amounts of money on this game than I have. You've got players who have been playing Fortnite since it first came out over a year ago that I've purchased every single skin and every single item to ever come to the item shop. So luckily, that's not me. I'm pretty selective with the skins that I decide to buy, but overall, I definitely think that I spend more money on Fortnite compared to the average Fortnite player, and it is a problem. Now, I bought this plastic pickaxe a while ago, and I honestly have no idea why I did it. I mean, this thing literally just sits in my room, and it just has such a goofy look on its face. Not only that, I've also spent a lot of my money on these Fortnite toys. I just have bought a bunch of these pop figures, and I honestly don't know why. I guess they're kind of cool because they're collectible items, but I'm already spending so much money in game, and now I've decided to spend even more money outside of Fortnite on real life Fortnite toys. It's just kind of weird, kind of pathetic, and today I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at my Fortnite locker, and I'm gonna be bringing you guys the top 10 Fortnite skins that I regret buying. Alrighty, guys, so to go ahead and get started with today's video, the very first Fortnite skin that I regret buying is the Crack Shot. Now, I bought the Crack Shot when it first came out over a year ago, when it was first in the item shop in December. So I've had this skin for over a year, and obviously the Crack Shot made a return into the item shop just a couple of days ago. But the Crack Shot is one of the skins that I definitely regret buying. Now, the Crack Shot, in my opinion, is one of the ugliest and most terrifying looking skins. I mean, the face and the features of the Crack Shot are just haunting. They are super scary. And again, I don't really know why I bought this skin when it was first in the item shop. I want to say that the Crack Shot was maybe my third or fourth skin purchase in Fortnite, because up until December of last year, I really hadn't spent too much money on Fortnite. So the Crack Shot was maybe my third or fourth skin purchase, and I really don't know why I purchased it, just because I really have never ever used the skin, and every now and then I have used it just to show off how rare of a skin it was. But again, it came back to the item shop just the other day, and honestly, I'm probably not gonna ever be using the Crack Shot again. Moving on to the next Fortnite skin that I regret buying. This is another legendary skin. This is the Omen. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the Omen came to Fortnite at the very tail end of Season 4, and again, I really just have no idea why I bought it. I think the main reason why I purchased the Omen was because the backbling that came with it was a cape, and up until then, there hadn't been a cape backbling ever added into Fortnite, and obviously, as you guys all know, there have been a ton of skins and a ton of backblings that are capes, so I really don't know why I purchased the Omen, and honestly, it's really not all that cool of a skin. I remember when it came to the item shop, and at the time I thought it was super awesome, but looking back on it, the Omen is really just a pretty ugly skin, and although it came with a cape backbling, I really don't use the cape backblings all that much, and because of that, it is another skin that I regret buying. Moving on to the next skin I regret buying, this is the Stalker. Now, the Stalker is kind of like a World War II soldier. He's wearing a pretty interesting looking gas mask, and I remember when the skin was in the item shop, I thought it was a pretty awesome and a pretty unique looking skin, and I have used it a couple of times, and I mainly used it within the first week that I purchased the Stalker. But again, since then, I really haven't been using that skin all that much, and I feel like it was kind of just an impulse buy when I bought it, because I remember I put the skin on one time a couple of months ago, and my friend was in the game, and he was like, "Dude, what is that skin? Why are you rocking that skin? It is a bad skin." So the Stalker, in my opinion, really isn't all that cool, and I really regret spending my hard-earned money on this pretty ugly looking skin. Moving on to the next skin I regret buying. This is kind of a rare skin. It first came to the game in October, so just a couple of months ago, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it probably will not be coming back to the item shop anytime soon. This skin is the Deadfire. Now, the Deadfire is a skin that came to Fortnite with the second annual Fortnite Mirrors event, and honestly, what Epic Games has decided to do with the Deadfire skin is honestly pretty awesome. Now, the Deadfire is one of the very only reactive skins in the game. Now, the Deadfire is pretty interesting because as you use it in a Fortnite game, it starts to sort of change, and as you get more kills, it transitions from a human into a dead zombie. So that part of the Deadfire is pretty awesome, but I really have not used the Deadfire ever since October when it was first in the item shop. I think I used it for maybe 2 days after I had bought it, and since then I just really haven't been using it all that much, and I honestly probably won't be using it again just because I'm really not a huge fan of the male characters in Fortnite, and I honestly don't know why I spend my money on male skins when the overwhelming majority of skins that I use in Fortnite are females. But again, I really like the idea and the concept that Epic Games brought to Fortnite with the Deadfire skin, but I really hope that they make a female character that has reactive characteristics or reactive qualities. So of course, the Deadfire, while it's kind of a cool skin, is a skin that I regret buying. Moving on to the next skin that I regret buying, this is the Dark Vanguard. Now, the Dark Vanguard is a female version of the Dark Voyager, and the Dark Voyager came to Fortnite back in the Season 3 Battle Pass. I really don't know why I purchased the Dark Vanguard, just because it's pretty much just a reskin of the Dark Voyager. Aside from it being a female, it's got a hint of orange to it, and again, it's pretty much the exact same skin as the Dark Voyager, so I really don't know why I spent 2,000 V-Bucks or $20 on a reskin of a pre-existing skin in Fortnite. I guess it kind of came with a pretty awesome looking back bling, but obviously since Season 3 I really have not been using the Dark Vanguard all that much, and because of that, it is definitely a skin that I personally regret buying. Moving on to the next Fortnite skin I regret spending my money on. This is the Wildcard. Now, the Wildcard is a skin that came to Fortnite earlier this summer in the high stakes limited time event, and the Wildcard is a pretty interesting skin because it actually has different editable styles, and this is one of the first or second skins that actually had these editable, customizable styles to actually come to Fortnite. But aside from the editable or customizable features that the Wildcard has, it really isn't all that cool of a skin, just because it's basically a character in a white suit, and it's pretty much just the Reaper or the John Wick skin with a mask on. And again, it's a pretty basic looking skin, and I spent too much money on the Wildcard when in fact I really have not used it since it first came to the game in the high stakes event. Continuing on to the next Fortnite skin that I regret buying, this is the Vention. Now, the Vention is such an awkward and such a weird looking character, and I honestly have no idea why I purchased it. I very rarely see anyone using the Vention, and I honestly would have to attribute that to the fact that the Vention is such an awkward looking character, and it's honestly kind of ugly. I know there are a couple of streamers that actually use the Vention, but overall, the overwhelming majority of players in a Fortnite game probably don't have this skin because they realize it's really not all that cool, or they just don't even use it because they think it's ugly like I do. So the Vention is definitely a skin that I regret spending money on. Moving on to another Fortnite skin I definitely regret spending my money on. This is the Peekaboo. Now, the Peekaboo is one of 2 clown themed skins in Fortnite, and I honestly have no idea why I bought a clown skin, because honestly, clowns are pretty terrifying, especially given the fact that with the Peekaboo skin, you could further edit or further customize this skin to actually change its face to look absolutely terrifying. The clown itself, the clown version without the mask of the Peekaboo, is pretty scary. Then you can go ahead and further edit it to throw on a terrifying clown mask. So because of that, I definitely regret spending my money on this very ugly looking skin. And honestly, when I was a kid, I used to be terrified of clowns. Not so much anymore because I'm almost 22 years old and I've definitely outgrown that feel. But when I was a kid, I was terrified of clowns. And again, I really don't know why I spent my money on a clown skin in Fortnite. I guess that kind of just makes me a clown for spending my money on it. So moving on to the next cosmetic item that I regret buying. This isn't actually a skin, and rather it is a glider. This is the Deep Space Lander. Now, the Deep Space Lander is obviously just a glider that looks like like a spaceship. And the reason why I regret buying this item is because the gliders are so loud. I really don't like to spend my V-Bucks on gliders because you really don't know what sort of glider you're going to get, how big it's going to be in game, how loud it's going to be in game. And the Deep Space Lander is definitely a loud, and it is definitely a big glider that takes up a ton of room on your screen. So I had used the Deep Space Lander when I had first bought it a couple of months ago, and obviously I don't use it. If you guys go back through a lot of my gameplays, you guys will see that I pretty much never use the Deep Space Lander because it's so loud and it's so big, and because of that, I definitely regret buying it. Moving on to the 10th and final thing I regret spending my money on here in Fortnite. This is another glider, being the Frostwing. Now, the Frostwing, in my opinion, is one of the coolest looking gliders in the game. I love it because I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and the Frostwing glider is basically just the ice dragon in a Game of Thrones. So in that sense, I really like this glider. At the same time, it is so big, and if you use this glider, it is so loud. It really hurts my ears, so I definitely need to either turn down my music or just never use the glider again, just because it takes up a large portion of the screen and it is extremely loud. And overall, I really don't like to spend my V-Bucks on gliders. Even though the Frostwing glider, in my opinion, is such a crazy and such a unique looking glider, I really regret buying it just because I really don't use it all that much, and it was a pretty expensive glider. So guys, there you have it. Those were the top 10 Fortnite skins that I regret spending money on. Regardless, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to drop a like down below. Subscribe if you're new. With that being said, I'll be sure to catch you guys later.